What's going on, guys? My name is Tommy. Welcome back to the channel. It's time for another kinda sorta homebrew episode of Wednesday afternoon worship. Mr. AJ Parker asked me, what would a cleric of RAZMIR look like? So, spoiler alert, that's this coming Friday as well, when we get to what I'm renaming, new series name, I called it Faction Fridays. We'll talk a little more in depth about that, but it got me to thinking, what would it look like if RAZMIR actually was a god? So yeah, we gotta homebrew it. If you're liking what you're seeing, remember to like and subscribe for more videos. Today, as you guys know by now, there has been some crazy stuff go down in Black Dragon Gaming. We've crossed patron tiers, we are becoming more and more powerful as time goes on. So, this episode of Wednesday Afternoon Worship was brought to you in part by the man responsible for Tier 8, Josh King. Thanks for your help, man. Truly, I am honored to be able to serve patrons, friends, in your case, family, doing what I love. But enough sappiness, let's dive in. Okay, so planet Earth has had, especially lately, its share of cults. Drink the Kool-Aid, follow this path to enlightenment, something Thetans, something Tom Cruise, right? And Golarion, being the proverbial kitchen sink of all fantasy tropes, would not be complete without it. RAZMIR is the personification of that in our fantasy setting. We talked about him in a little more depth in our RAZMIR Inner Sea Region, a 5-minute tour video, and follow this card right up here also, if you'd like to learn more about that. But to TLDR it real quick, RAZMIR himself on Golarion, as we see him, has no divine abilities. He's just literally a 19th level wizard, and so it's not hard for someone that powerful to, kill a bunch of people with fire and then make other people believe you in fact passed the test of the Starstone and became a living deity. RAZMIR's, and I'm air quoting hard here, clerics use arcane magic to mimic the abilities of true clerics. Nevertheless, RAZMIR himself does have a small amount of domains that he's able to pass out to his followers, which those priests, running up 31 steps, or that crazy cult path to power, use to extort the land around them. While these guys live in power and opulence, those who pay tithing step, the first step, are extortionally tithed for basically none other than the glory of RAZMIR. Now, this is basically a homebrew video. We have some things filled in, we're just here to fill in the gaps for obediences, boons, and all that fun stuff, but as he appears, RAZMIR is, as you probably guessed, lawful evil. The domains he is capable of passing out to his worshippers are charm, evil, law, and trickery. And I'll give him the subdomains of corruption, devil, tyranny, and greed, assuming, this man gets off his 31-stepped throne and goes and actually passes that test of the Starstone. His favored weapon is the quarterstaff, and the Mask of RAZMIR is his unholy symbol. Now, let's hit that homebrew, shall we? If you think you can do it better, throw it in the comments. To perform RAZMIR's homebrew obedience, you must persuade, whether by force or coercion, an individual within the realm of RAZMIR that it is their obligation to the church to undergo the tithing step. Remember, that means pay lots of money to me, and see to it that the individual pays their tithe in full, no matter their station. After they have paid, send the money back to the church, taking none for yourself. If you are outside of RAZMIR, leave propaganda somewhere where innocent commoners can find it that praises the fairness and generosity of RAZMIR, and in return, take a +4 profane bonus on bluff checks to lie. Sentinel boons. It's blood money 3 times a day, demand offering twice a day, or charitable impulse once a day. We're gonna borrow pretty heavily from the RAZMIR Priest Prestige class today. At 16th level, you gain the first ritual ability of a RAZMIR Priest. Said ability says that you add both Bless and Cure Light Wounds to one of your arcane spell lists, treating them as if they were 2nd level spells. If you are a spontaneous caster, they're added to your list of spells known, and whenever you cast Cure Light Wounds using this ability, the hit points you heal are instead treated as temporary hit points lasting 10 minutes per RAZMIR and Priest level. In our case, we'll use our total level to determine the duration, although, of course, the subject does not notice this difference until the duration of the spell expires. If you do not have the ability to cast arcane spells, you instead may roll bluff checks in place of knowledge religion checks relating to RAZMIR. And at 20th level, you get the second ritual ability. Same idea, but you're grabbing Cure Moderate Wounds and Spiritual Ally, treating them as if they were 3rd level spells. Of course, still handing out temporary hit points, but if you don't have arcane spells once a day, you may treat the result of a bluff check as if you rolled a natural 20. Evangelist boons. We're gonna, borrow from the rest of the gods here real quick. It's Abadar's truth-telling, oh no, RAZMIR's truth-telling, thrice a day, Zone of Truth, twice a day, or False Alibi. We'll need to take control of that real quick, Norgaber. Hope you don't mind, once a day. At 16th level, you gain the Master of Lies ability of a RAZMIR and Priest, treating your total level as your RAZMIR and Priest level. Of course, this meaning you add your class level, or total level, to any bluff check made as part of a lie or deception, and when you're subject to a spell or special ability that can sniff out whether or not you're lying, you are aware of it. You are not immune to it, but of course you can keep your mouth shut. And at 20th level, you may roll bluff checks in place of diplomacy checks to convert those not of your faith to your faith, and you are treated as being under the effects of glibness when you do so. Exalted boons, which should probably look a little more like extortion boons today. It's Adoration, thrice a day, Build Trust, twice a day, or Conditional Curse, once a day. At 16th level, as an immediate action, when a creature with an intelligence score of 6 or greater deals damage to you, they must make a will save, DC 10 plus half your hit dice plus your charisma, or suffer immense pain, causing them to become sickened for 1d4 rounds. This, of course, is a mind-affecting effect. And at 20th level, you may add your charisma to your CMB when making Sunder combat maneuvers, and targets who do not worship RAZMIR, whose gear or property use Sunder, become shaken, no save, for 1 round, plus an additional round for every 5 points by which your Sunder maneuver succeeded. Seems good, right? You see this picture here of the tithing step taking place, things getting all busted up and stuff. Somebody's gotta be able to do that and get benefit, right? Why not you? These also seem real sweet considering we're lawful evil for that tyrant anti-paladin, because, of course, a deity who likes money and taking it from the dumb would certainly attract these kind of people, so we're getting a homebrew anti-paladin code as well. It goes as such. I am superior to those around me in every way. I will outwit, outmaneuver, and outlast those around me. They are but pawns in a game. Opulence is next to godliness. I will not hesitate to flaunt my wealth wherever I may go, especially if it would cause the weak to consider swearing fealty to RAZMIR. As RAZMIR fooled an entire nation into believing he was a deity, so too shall I endeavor to scheme greater and greater schemes. The only limit is my own desire for more. Those who dare question RAZMIR's greatness, both in life and in godhood, will meet with conversion or extermination. And after you convert or exterminate enough of them and climb up that bunch of steps and get your thetans checked and be in love with Katie Holmes, man, I need to make more Tom Cruise jokes in this video. We'll work on it. RAZMIR, now that he has true god powers, might pass out a boon, as they're doing post-planar adventures for RAZMIR. How about a permanent +2 untyped bonus to your charisma for all your bluffing and being horrible needs, because really that's kind of what this deity is all about. I'm actually kind of hoping, as Pathfinder moves into 2nd edition, there's an AP about it, because RAZMIR to me is the definition of the big, bad, evil guy. This is basically a high-level evil PC in a nutshell, right? I have lots of magics and things, and I snap my fingers, and I kill a bunch of folk, and now everyone worships me. I would love to see some kind of, against the throne of RAZMIR or something, I don't know, adventure path come down. Official Paizo in 2nd edition, where we have to stand up and oppose this guy actually taking the test of the Starstone, because someone who is as present on Golarion as RAZMIR is, gaining deific powers, certainly spells the doom of a lot of people, because pending something, the Starstone detaches you from humanity, something. Once that power of godhood is achieved, of course, that probably means something along the lines of all of the River Kingdoms, nay, all of Golarion, fall to RAZMIR's divine rule, and suddenly everyone, everywhere, forever and ever is tithing to this dude. So if I were to GM for a player who wanted to worship RAZMIR, assuming with this homebrew he'd actually become a god, I can only foresee crusade after crusade coming after this guy. And that becomes the whole game. Make people drink the Kool-Aid and kill them if they will not. As far as playing a follower of RAZMIR, well, I mean, I like characters that have lots of gold. And some of my spells were taken, from my boon paths rather, from the Mesmerist spell list, and kind of, you know, he feels a little bit like that class RAZMIR does. The big buffs to bluff checks, the ability to debuff people, the class that's basically a magical hypnotist, turning everyone into followers of, you know, a god who isn't a god. Seems right up the alley for an actual mesmerist to, when this guy becomes all-powerful, to follow in the footsteps of. And again, if one individual can become this powerful, is it not the destiny of all player characters to eventually become horrible, evil gods in their own right? You either die a level 1 character or see yourself live long enough to become this. Let me know what you think about that in the comments, because that's all the time we have for today. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe for more videos. It's another patron request next week, right on the heels of the Red Mantis Assassin. Next week it's all about a Chakak. See you then.